I think the problem that we've had is that we have people decided they didn't really want to work so much anymore through COVID, and that has had a massive issue on productivity. Tradies have definitely pulled back on productivity. They have been paid a lot to do not too much in the last few years, and we need to see that change. We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40-50%, in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. I mean, there's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around. So it's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to do. The governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment to get that to some sort of normality. And we're seeing it. I think every employer now is seeing it. I mean, there is definitely massive layoffs going off. People might not be talking about it, but people are definitely laying people off, and we're starting to see less arrogance in the employment market, and that has to continue because that will cascade across the cost balance.
Joey asks, how many P-bottles do you average a week? I work 6 days and average 2 bottles a week. This really depends on what kind of route you're doing. Some routes have a lot of shops and businesses you can use their bathrooms in, and other routes are in the middle of nowhere. But sometimes when you gotta go, you gotta go. And I'm not proud to say it, but I probably do it at least once a month.
Alright, Amazon's wild for this. This is how bad it is as far as them making sure that the workers get all of the packages delivered in one day and how fast they have to do it with really no breaks. This van's here for work. It's got lights on the dash. Just driving it to the back. Yeah. That is exactly what you think it is.
Emotional situation. I've gotten over 100 emails about this, so when truck drivers email me, we got to have a conversation. There are links coming out from all over the interweb talking about a shooting that happened on the I-20 where allegedly it was a road rage between Jason Rashad Williams and a woman that they did not identify. Truck drivers have asked me to research a little bit more information to see what I can find. And so I'm going to give you what I found. And as of now, we have to stay unbiased because the reports does not say who started what, who cut off who. But it does say here that Cataline Elizabeth was the woman that was killed in the road rage. Family and friends mourn her, and they nicknamed and called her Lizzie, who passed away on the I-20. Right now, in America, I'm not making an excuse for this man, but I'm just letting the world know that truck drivers are having a very difficult time. The rates are down. Scams are happening, double brokering, not being appreciated. And so there's a lot of inner demons that truck drivers are fighting right now just to provide for their family. And so at no means should that mean that you do something like this. But I'm just letting the American people know that if a truck driver accidentally cuts you off, know that they did not mean to do that. It takes, football field lengths to stop. And if you are playing chicken with a truck driver, we are under so much stress right now. But then again, it doesn't give it the okay to do what this truck driver did. We are not saying that. But what we are saying is, I just want the American people to know that truck drivers are always feeling attacked. And from that, they're just mentally it's straining right now to be a truck driver.
You remember? Yeah, right? Manuel, grandma,
I am ready. Please click start. Food is on the way. Hi, your food is here. Please click confirm after picking up your dishes. Enjoy your meal. You will see me again if you order more. Bye.
Hi, I'm Chelsea. I'm a waitress here at Sushi Island, and we are here at Sushi Island Chemnat location to talk about BellaBot, the first ever unit in Canada. Her main function is to help us bring the food and get it out to tables. So we'll input the table on her screen and tell her which table to go to, and then she will drive there, let them know what tray their food is on, and once they've retrieved that food, she will then return to her main station where we can fill her up again and send her off. Another great thing about Bella is that she has some sensors in the front here and at the bottom, and that prevents her from running into anyone. So if someone happens to step out in front of her, she will stop, and if they continue to stand in front of her, she will ask them to move so that she can get back to work, and she might try and go around them, but she won't run into them.
Excuse me, I need to work.
What you just saw was just a sample of all of the things that are going on in our world, things that are designed to make you fail, things that are designed to keep you as a cog in the wheel. There is a machine, there's a system, and the system was designed by people a long time ago. I saw a video on YouTube. I wish I could remember the name of it, man. But if you type in just a few keywords, like this system that we're on right now, my timing is going to be a bit off. I don't know the time. It could have been after the Wall Street crash of the 20s. It could have been in the 30s and 40s. It could have been in the 50s and 60s. I know that's a wide range. But this system that we're in right now was literally designed by a capitalist, and they allowed him. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was Rockefeller, but it was somebody like that. They allowed him to design the entire education system and the education to work system, with the whole goal being that you want to condition the individual to prepare themselves to work. This is the whole reason why most schools, you start school around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Some schools start sooner. And then work, generally speaking, starts at 9 o'clock, 8:30, something in that range. You get out of school at, maybe 3 o'clock, 3:30. You get off work, hopefully at 5 p.m. But it's all a conditioning to prepare you to get ready to work. In fact, I think one of the quotes was something like, we don't want to build a country of thinkers and innovators and things like this. What we want to build is a country of employees that want to work to, essentially make all of us rich. Right? And all of the stalwarts that the top folks, the JP Morgans, people like that, people from the industrious age, they all bought into this, all of them, right? And so that's why you see now most people, they encourage you to get a job. They encourage you to, hey, get in the system, because that's what they've been taught. And there's nothing wrong with a job, guys. If it's a good job or whatever, I'm not anti-job, but you have to understand what to do with that job, and that job has to be a means to an end. Otherwise, you're going to stay in that job and you're going to die in that job. And they don't even care. So let me, this is why we crypto, right? That's the name of this video. This is why we crypto. I'm going to show you why I am such an advocate of crypto, and how you can use crypto to help get you out of this machine, out of this matrix. Okay. All right. So this is, man, this is a list, I guess. Shout out to these people, payscale.com, of how much the CEOs make relative to what their employees' median worker annual pay is. All right. So CVS, the average worker, or the median worker, I should say, makes $27,900 a year. The CEO straight up paycheck is $12 million a year, but the total compensation is 22, because that's factoring the all of the stocks and things that he gets. So he's getting 434 times the amount of the average employer. I'm sorry, the average employee, excuse me. CBS, 60,000 to 56 million. Walt Disney, 71,000, at least they get some money, to 43 million. I don't know which company this is. 21st Century Fox, 54,000 to 22 million. Comcast, 55,000 to 27 million. L Brands, 33,000 to 26 million. Honeywell, 81,000 to 33 million. Pepsi, 61,000 to 22 million. Win Resorts, 50,000 to 20 million, and it just goes on and on and on. This is what they make yearly, guys. Yearly. And it just shows you how comfortable people have become being in their skin, comfortable, being the, capitalistic criminals that they are. Make no mistake, it is capitalism. This is the essence of capitalism, right? I want to make a bunch of money. I don't want you to make any money. I will do whatever it takes to pay you the least amount possible. I will bring in even people from other countries who are not used to making this kind of money. See, that's the thing. All this pay here, most of the world, I'm going to tell you guys, most of the world would love these kind of salaries. So they'll bring in people from India, from Thailand, even from some places in Europe. Europeans don't make this kind of salary. No, they don't. I was in a country where a doctor makes essentially $2,000 a month. Doctors, and they were at the top of the salary. Right? I witnessed this. Yet the property values in that place were well beyond what people could afford. Right? So they don't care. What I don't understand is why people just don't boycott. Like, that's the one thing that America struggles with, whereas other countries, they boycott. They in Europe, they boycott. In France and the UK, any little change, they boycott. I'm not sure what kind of difference it makes, but you at least get to disrupt, how they do business, even if it's for a few weeks. And quite frankly, that's what needs to happen here. This isn't going to change until all you guys just walk off. Like, if a bunch of people went to Walt Disney for a day and none of the workers showed up, trust me, this would change. Why do you think that capitalists are so anti-union? And they've been like this since the beginning of time, guys. Like, this isn't new, right? I'm trying to think of, man, I know this guy's name and I can't think of it right now. But he's one of the main guys behind the railroad system, that was built. This dude used to make his employees work 364 days a year, with only getting, I believe it was Christmas off, just Christmas. They had to work every other day other than Christmas, 364 days. And like the very early jobs, people used to ride the trains on the outside. The workers used to ride the trains on the outside of the train. I'm not joking. And so, of course, people would fall off the trains and they would die, and they would just, oh well, keep it moving. That is very much the spirit that is still prevalent. This is wage growth versus inflation growth. Blue is wages, the black is inflation. Okay, and really, this isn't a comprehensive list because this is only the last 3 years. But just look how much, and this is a percentage, right? So this is a year-on-year percentage compared to the last year, right? This is the price of everything else around you going up, and this is your wages not being able to match that. Allegedly, it's come down now, but this chart is very deceiving, right? This is just comparing the growth of each category, not what it actually is. If it was comparing what it actually is, see, this goes up 5%, then another 5%, another 5%, then 6%, then 6. This chart would just be going straight up. So them showing that inflation has come down is misleading. Inflation is still up here. It's just not growing at the same rate that it was, but it's still going up. Nothing is cheaper than what it was, at during the pandemic. Nothing is cheaper. So I find it always interesting when they say, "Oh, we need to get inflation down." The prices that you saw aren't coming back. So how is inflation down when it stays there? Like a gallon of milk used to be, I remember as a kid, a gallon of milk was 89 cents. My mom used to send me to the store all the time to go get a gallon of milk, and it was 89 cents. And I remember when milk went over $1, she went crazy. And so I used to walk to the gas station to get a half gallon of milk, and that was 59 cents. And we did that consistently. I just had to go to the store like every other day, every couple of days, and got a half gallon of milk, which when you think about it, right, you're paying more. But for her, it was like, well, it's not $1. I'm only paying 59 cents. The bottom line is, you were paying $1.18 for a gallon versus the $1.09 that it was. But they prey on people like that. We weren't doing the math. So this is like, it's not like milk has returned to 59 cent a half gallon, right? I don't know what it is right now because I don't do the shopping, but the last time I went to the store, I think a gallon of milk might have been like $3.69, $3.79, but that was a few years ago, honestly. So I don't know what it is right now. So it's really simple, guys. If your wages are not matching the increase in prices, first of all, why is the increase of prices happening? One reason and one reason only: capitalism. There's no other extraneous reasons that's making this stuff happen other than greed. Don't let them try to convince you of that. Oil is cheaper now to manufacture now than it was in the 90s. It's cheaper now. Why? Because the systems have become better. They've become more efficient. They pride themselves on efficiency, right? So oil is cheaper to manufacture now, yet the prices are significantly higher. And even though people are using less and less oil, they are restricting the production of it. They are artificially cutting the supply of oil just so they can keep the prices high, because more people are using hybrid. They're using electric vehicles. They're using, all different kind of stuff. People are using less and less oil, but yet that hasn't stopped them from keeping the prices high. And they will do the same thing with that, including, and I thought this was funny, rent is becoming unaffordable for many of you. No, rent rent is unaffordable. This was 2019, by the way. But they'll do the same thing with properties. First of all, let's check this out, okay? What this is showing you is the average hourly income of different professions, and they're showing you what you need to make hourly just to be able to qualify for a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom place. So to qualify, and this was in 2019. I don't know if this is a specific area or this is the whole United States. Average, okay. So average in 2019, which means it's significantly higher, you needed to make $18.65 an hour to afford a 1-bedroom place. And you need to make $23 basically to afford a 2-bedroom place. Look at all of these professions that can't afford this: medical assistant, laborers, janitors, cleaners, home health aides, personal care aides, waiters and waitresses, food preppers, and fast food. This is pretty much the strength of the economy here. These are your blue collar people. These are the people that essentially make the country run properly. The laborers and material movers, medical assistants. Let me tell you something else on here. This is absolutely ridiculous for a home health aide to be making $11.80, because if you don't know anything about home health aid, let me just break it down very quickly and very bluntly. Home health aides wipe the ass of your family member that people don't want to take care of. I'm just going to put it, but that's basically what it comes down to. They wipe the behinds of the elderly, your mom, your dad, your aunts, the people who have been part of your life, right? And that you're good enough to be in position to still take care of. But who wants to wipe their mothers behind? Not me, and not you. Just keeping it real, right? This is a respected figure that you've been, looking up to your whole life, hopefully, right? This is your dad. Like, you don't want to wipe that. Like I told my kids, I'm like, yo, ain't none of y'all wiping my ass. Okay? I'm just I'm just telling y'all now. If right, I get older or whatever, if I can't wipe my ass, y'all better find somebody else to do it. Y'all better find me the best looking nurse possible. Right? She gonna wipe my ass, bro. Like seriously. And look at what they get paid. Look at what they get paid. This is a little bit more than fast food workers who are also, they work hard, right? None of these people can afford, according to this chart, which I believe a 1 or 2-bedroom place. None of them. Only RNs and general managers and software developers is basically what they're saying. Only them, basically the medical field, the tech field, right? Perhaps what they don't have on here is like, UPS drivers and FedEx drivers. Like they make a bunch of money. Rightfully so. They deserve every dime. Truckers and stuff like that. They don't have them on here. But these are the only people, according to this chart, that can afford a place to live, which is, the most basic thing, right? And if you can't afford to live, what does that mean? Now you have to rely on the government, you have to rely on systems, and that just further puts strain on everybody because the government, again, the government does not have a business. They don't have a business. They don't have a product to sell. So the only way that they can make up for this is to print money. And even though you are anti giving money out, you're anti government, or whatever your political affiliation might be, regardless of how you feel, it's affecting you because when the government prints money, then all your stuff is going to go up as well. So that's why we got to be in this together. We can't take this attitude of, oh, that ain't my problem, and so on and so forth, because it's affecting you, right? The more this happens, the more rent goes up, the more stuff goes up, the more the government is going to have to step in play all over the world, right? And we all are going to end up paying for that, right? So again, this is the reality, right? Let me go back here. And so what's going to happen, I'm telling you, as bad as this is going to get worse. Why? Because any job that can is going to get replaced by a robot and AI. So there are some people in this situation where, the CEOs are making 400 times what they make, but eventually it's going to be an infinite number of times because they're going to be fired. Now, and I'm telling you now, 50%. I'm going to be really harsh here, but I still think I'm being conservative. 50% of the people that are listening to this video right now, you're going to lose your job within the next 10 to 15 years if you stay at the same place. And what's going to happen when you lose your job? So here's the question. I can answer that question very easily. Are you in position right now where if all of your money stopped, if all of your job money stopped, that you could pay for your lifestyle? If the answer is no, then you are in trouble. Because this is coming. It's coming at a fast pace. The pandemic scared them people so much because people couldn't go to work and everything. It scared them into innovation. When rich people get scared, they innovate. They say, oh, y'all not going to work? Oh, y'all not going to do this? Okay, we're going to do X, Y, Z. So this is why we crypto, guys. This is why we crypto. So, what is it about crypto? Right? I hear you saying, like, what you keep talking about. Like, what's so special about crypto that, it is the solution? Right? Because I hear some of you saying, oh, well, you know what? I'll work my job and I'll do a business on the side. Okay, do that. That's great. I think you should. Everybody needs a hustle. In this economy, everybody needs a hustle. Right? Or, some of you say, oh, well, I'll just change fields. I'll go back to school. Right? I can't talk about the tuition fees and everything. They just go up and up and up. And then by the time you come out of school, right? Like right now, if you're going to school for certain fields, you're going to graduate and the whole industry is going to be gone. I'm serious. The whole industry, but if you're a freshman in like, let me pick it, in like graphic design or gaming, like gaming design, gaming development, any type of graphic art, anything like that, and you're a freshman, trust me, you should drop out of school right now. I'm telling you. Because in 4 years, all of those jobs are going to be done by AI. They're building stuff. NVIDIA is building stuff now where you're going to be able to create video games just by text. So you just type in the text and it's going to actually create videos and video games from text. right? So why crypto? Why crypto? The reason why I like crypto is it is probably the only thing that you can do comfortably without it affecting other things you do. Meaning, if you work a job and you have a business on the side, you have to have the energy for that job, right? Come home, do whatever you got to do at home, and then you have to give more energy to your business, right? That's hard. That's tough. Okay. And that's, most people either end up quitting their job, which you should not do, or, quitting their business. That's why most businesses fail in the first year, right? Because you don't have time, right? Whereas with Bitcoin, if you had bought Bitcoin anywhere along this line here, anywhere, all you had to do was buy whatever amount you bought one time, and at the very least, you would have more options today than you have right now, right? Because Bitcoin made up for the price of bread going up, milk going up, rent going up, everything, taxes going up. Bitcoin made up for all of that, right? So if you bought, $1,000 worth of Bitcoin in what is this, January 2015, right? That $1,000 is now 100,000 if you only bought one time. What you could have been doing and should have been doing is buying however much you could every week, every time you get paid. So many people look at investing, oh, I need to have a bunch of money. Let me come in with all I can right now. And you should come in with all you can, but you should continue. If it's a good thing, which is tough, to find, but that's why you have me. You can just continue to invest and invest and invest. Right? So right now, but even if you just did it one time, $1,000 here, you got over 100,000 now. So now when you lose your job, right, it's still tough, but it's like, well, I do have 100,000 in Bitcoin. I only invested 1,000. While I work on finding my other thing, I'll just piece off what I need to live. A bunch of you have been asking me because, some of the cryptos that I've shared are up so much. When should you sell? First of all, the things that I share with you stuff so early. Now is not the time to be selling, guys. Like on no level. The stuff that I'm sharing with you, like 100, there's still less than 1,000 people, and there are millions and millions and millions of people in Bitcoin. Right? So when should you consider selling? When there's millions and millions of people. Like, that's the bottom line. But I'll address that in another video. But the real answer, for your best stuff, for your best projects, for your best companies, you never sell everything because it keeps going up, but you're able to live off of, tiny amounts, right? So whereas back here, let's say your rent was, $1,000 a month, right? So your rent was basically 4 Bitcoin. That was your rent. If you had paid your rent in Bitcoin, you paid 4 Bitcoin, right? Which means you paid actually 100,000 for that $1,000 a month rent. Now here, your rent is 2,000. Your rent is double. But in Bitcoin, it's actually like 0.8 or no, excuse me, 0.08 Bitcoin. See what happened there? You were paying 4 Bitcoin here. 4. Right? Now your rent has doubled. It's not, you don't expect kindness from your landlord. Your rent is double, right? But the amount of Bitcoin that you pay relative to your rent has gone down. I'm gonna say that again. The amount of Bitcoin that you have to pay, that you own relative to your rent, has gone down. 4 Bitcoin here, 0.08 maybe Bitcoin here. And over time, this is only going to, that ratio is only going to keep going down over time. Right? Not day to day, not week to week, month to month, over time. Okay? So that's why I treat this as my bank account. That's why, most of what I make, it goes here, because I know this, I can count on this. There's only so much Bitcoin, right? Let me address that really quick, because I know somebody, oh, what about gold? What about gold? Gold is so great. Gold is not that great, okay? The biggest difference between gold and Bitcoin, I mean, it's a lot, but there's no finite amount of gold. Nobody knows how much gold there actually is in the world. Nobody knows, right? And gold is very limited in terms of what you can do with it. You cannot transact on a regular basis millions of times a day with gold. You cannot. It is impossible. You can't buy $2, $3, $5 things. In fact, people don't transact with gold anyway. They just hoard it. And most people are not holding actual gold. They're holding gold paper, which is worthless. Right? So, that's the biggest part. But, gold, has provided some difference. But gold hasn't even beat inflation. Look, August 2020, gold is lower than what it was in August 2020. It hasn't beat inflation since then. We're up significantly since 2020 in terms of the price of things, right? So Bitcoin consistently, it has been the thing, right? The thing to fight. And so just to be fair, let's go back to August, because I didn't plan it. Here's August 2020 for Bitcoin, and we're up like 120 something percent or more since then. That's how you view this, right? So this is one of the big ones. Is going to continue to go up. You should own some Bitcoin, but let's cover some other ones. Why are we crypto? Okay, what's going to help me? And all of these things, this happened while you were working, while you were hustling. You didn't have to do anything, right? Here's Doge, right? And look at the price of Doge. It's 0.002. So that's like significantly less than a penny. Significantly less than a penny, right? And look at how long it took. Even a few years later, look, it's still 0.002. Oh man, it's done. It's over. It's nothing. Right? The next thing you know, it 10x's, and it's like, okay, maybe there is something. And then imagine going from this to this, right? Like this was December, it was 0.003. Interestingly enough, 2020, and then May, it was 70 cents, 2021. That's insane. So imagine all the people back here that were accumulating, still working, right? Still getting mistreated at the job. Still, nothing has changed. If you're a FedEx worker, you're still peeing in bottles inside the truck. That hasn't changed. They're still giving you more packages than you can humanly deliver, right? You still feel like you almost about to die during Christmas time with all the packages. That hasn't changed. But one day you wake up and it's like, wait a minute, my $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 back here is now millions of dollars. So what does that give you? You now have options. You can still keep your job. Right? Again, if you like your job, hear me. If you like your job, you should always have something with income. If you like your job, stay there. But if they're mistreating you and you don't like your job, you don't have to sacrifice your health, your mental peace, relationship with your kids, all that for a job. Because right now, that's what most of you are doing. It's not just that they aren't appreciating you at your job, is that there are other aspects of your life that are suffering because of the job. Your relationship with your children is suffering because of your job. You are actually giving your children bad memories because of your job, because you got to work, because you do have to provide. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. But I'm telling you, like, sometimes your kids don't care what you have to do. Your kids just want you to be there at the baseball game. They just want you to be there for their birthday. But you can't because of your job, because they have you caught up in the system. So maybe if you had got into Doge, maybe when your child birthday comes up, you say, you know what, I'm going to go to my child's birthday party. I'm going to, make this happen for my child. And your job says, oh, you better not do that. You might get fired. Maybe you don't care. It's like, hey, you know what? If I've been giving y'all this many years of my life, if me going to my child's birthday or this event or whatever a few times a year is too much for you and y'all gonna fire me after that, then I don't need this job, anyway. Like that's the attitude you have. But you can only have that attitude if you have something to fall back on. You hear what I'm saying? So this is why we crypto. Now again, it's tough to find the good ones. And again, that's why I'm here. Because, I've been doing this a while and I know, what to look for. You're not going to know that, right? So I'm going to show you what not to look for, right? Just, really quickly. You don't want like these 2 week, oh, I made a millionaire in 2 week type of things. Like people, say they want that. But what happens is you're not finding out about stuff until it's here. And then look, it's just been downhill since then. This is what you don't want. The project that you see, like, all the big YouTubers with millions of followers, 100,000 followers and all that, they all talking about the same thing. It's because they're getting paid to tell you that. And they're getting free tokens and they're just dumping on you and all of that. So these are the ones that you don't want. You want the ones that are not hyped up yet, right? And they give you an opportunity to get in, right? It took a while. Look at this. Look at the accumulation phase for Bitcoin. It's still going up, 10x, 100x, all that, right? But it didn't get to the masses until really here. Like most people didn't get into Bitcoin until 2021. There are millions of people in Bitcoin. There are millions of people in Doge, millions, right? All of the top cryptocurrencies that you know about, there's millions of people in it. The things that I share with you, literally, there are, less than 1,000 people in them. Does that guarantee that they're going to have success? No. Right? And if you want to know what those are, just go back and look at some of my videos. Doesn't guarantee success, But what it does guarantee is that you're one of the first people in it. And so whatever happens with it, you have a chance to take advantage of what might happen. Because that's all you can ask for is a chance. We just want a chance, right? And if the 10,000, 5,000, 1,000, whatever that you put in doesn't pan out, at least you gave yourself a chance. But you didn't have to kill yourself for it. You didn't have to expose yourself. You didn't have to go to meetings, right? You didn't have to do cold calling. That's why we crypto. That's what I love about crypto. Because see, I've done all that other stuff. I did that stuff. And, to be honest with you, I'm pretty good at that stuff. I don't have any problem talking to people. I have no problem. But, people that I would recruit, all of a sudden they're shy and they're introverted. They like the opportunity. They want to get involved, but I don't want to talk to people. I'm not like that. I don't have time. I'm scared to talk to folks, so on and so forth. And so it ends up hurting everybody involved because they're not matching your energy. Crypto, it would be nice if everybody had the same energy, right? But the bottom line is you don't have to. If all you do is just buy and be still, right? Then you're okay. And you tell people about it, encourage people, whatever. You watch it. Sometimes you don't even look at it. Like when stuff is so early, you shouldn't even look at it. As long as you know there's a good team behind it. It's an introducing something new. It's not crap, right? It's not, let me see if I can find something. Yeah, okay. Is this one on here? Like this kind of stuff right here. Is this up? Oh, okay. Well, maybe it is up for come on. You know what I mean? Here we go. There's the truth. Right? It's only been out for, I don't know. I'd be lying. But Harry Potter, Trump, Homer Simpson. Come on, guys. This is trash. It doesn't provide anything. There's nothing new, right? And who knows? Hear me out. Even though it's trash, in some weird way, this might go up. But you don't want to take chances on stuff like this. It could go up. And then people say, oh, yeah, you missed out. It went up. But there's nothing to this unless they were introducing something new to the market, and they're not. Right? With Doge, at the very least, what they introduced, or, what they didn't introduce, but what they continued was proof of work. And what is proof of work? Proof of work just says you can't just, mint tokens out of thin air. There's a process. There's a computational process called mining. You want stuff to trickle out over time, or you want it to all be put out day one and no more come out forever. Or better yet, you want it to actually burn. It comes out with all the amount that it has, and then it just burns until eternity. So here's another project that few people know about. This is Bias. And basically what Bias is trying to do is they're trying to be a decentralized bank. Why do you put your money in the bank? Well, generally speaking, it's to earn interest. But what people don't know is when you deposit money in the bank takes your money and uses your money. The bank will actually take your money and invest it in stocks and the S&P 500 and other things. And, they'll make, 10% on your money and they'll give you one, right? Or whatever the base rate. The easiest thing to do is just to buy government bonds at whatever the rate is. So if the government bond rate is 3%, they'll just take your money, put it in a guaranteed government bond rate of 3%, and then give you one. So you're giving the bank money to make money, on your money. And then, of course, we know that banks can do other things like block transactions. Some people have tried to cash checks at a teller, and the teller has, denied them from cashing the check, and so on and so forth. So, what Bias is trying to do is be like a decentralized bank in that you can earn um, interest by simply holding the token in your wallet. Like, in crypto, there's staking and different things like that. But with staking, like ETH staking is a big thing. And with staking, you have to give up temporarily ownership of your token. So if anything were to happen to the staking mechanism or something, or and this has happened, by the way, with a number of them, then your funds are basically lost. Okay. So Bias is saying, hey, you don't have to give up the rights to your tokens, just hold it, and it will earn you more Bias just holding it. And that's based on what happens on the network. Okay, so you can go here, click on docs, you can learn about this. I'll read a little bit. How does Bias work? You buy Bias, you hold it in your Web3 wallet. As others buy and sell, you receive a percentage of all the transactions on the network. So, that's how it happens with banks and PayPal and payment services and all that. So imagine, you're now PayPal. So, if anybody transacts on PayPal, PayPal charges a fee, right? If you own a piece of PayPal, you get a piece of every fee that ever happens on the network. So you own the bank, you own, the exchange, the forex exchange, wherever there's trade, you own eBay, you own PayPal. So if people were to build different products using Bias, right? Every single time something happens, you're going to get a part of it. And here's the breakdown. There's a 3% fee attached to every buy and sell. 1% goes to holders. That would be you. 1% is burned, right? So this is deflationary. So tokens are being burned every single day. And then 1% goes to a decentralized charitable wallet, because they want to do some charitable things and all that. So again, nobody knows about this. Nobody's really in this yet. There's less than 1,000 people in this as well. So this is one of those things, again, that they're trying to do something different. Is it guaranteed to work? No, but these are the shots that you want to take. So I don't want to make this video about Bias. I'll do a separate thing, but they're doing some pretty interesting. In fact, if you hold 100, about Bias, because you have to hold a minimum amount of Bias to stake 100. So if they keep doing things like that, if the developers keep building projects and requiring you to hold Bias for everything that they build, then if people use those projects, then and you're burning and all of that, then the sky's the limit, obviously. So like I said, let me handle until you figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I'll just come on here, introduce stuff. You can check it out, do your own research. I don't get paid for anything, guys. So you don't have to worry about, hey, I'm getting tokens or whatever. Now, the stuff that I share with you, I do, own. I do have some. So, there's that. But, I'm not going to talk about something that I don't own. I just don't believe in doing that. So it's not like, oh, I'm trying to pump my bags or something. No, I'm sharing it with Bias has been out, for a while. So, and this is the first time I've ever talked about it. So, people who, take my course or whatever, they learned about it, earlier. So, that's kind of how we do things. But, stuff like this, stuff that's different, there's nothing really out there like this. There's no token that I'm aware of that requires you to hold it to do different things. So that's the thing that they introduced, right? And that's why crypto is kind of where it is. You have these tokens, but you aren't required to hold them. People are only going to do what you require them to do, right? So imagine if Apple required you to hold like a pinch of their stock for you to use Apple TV, Apple Watch, and what would happen to Apple stock? You see what I'm saying? But they don't have that type of technology in the traditional world, but they do have that type of technology on the blockchain. Because if you try to use any of the bias apps, any of them without the required amount, guess what? It's not going to work. So it's amazing. But, it's early. And, a lot of people are down on crypto right now because they only focus on what you're being told to buy. But what you're being told to buy, that's also part of the matrix as well. There's big companies in cryptos and they want to have you focus on the top 10 or top whatever, because those are the ones a lot of times that they control, with the exception of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is completely decentralized. So but anyway, that's that, guys. I just really, you just gotta put it all together, man. And like, look, you have to figure something out. You have, like, you can't just keep doing the same thing that you've been doing. And most people just don't have a lot of time. Now, if you want to take that leap and you just want, hey man, I'm gonna start a business and I'm gonna quit my job, and and you're really good at something or whatever, you think you can make it, and maybe you got some support, maybe you got a 2-income household or something like that, and the other income is gonna support you, then go for it. But still, you still need to have something working for you. Whatever transactions that are happening on bias, for example, you'll come home from your hustle or whatever, and you'll know, hey, I got a little bit more. What did you do to earn it? Nothing. You did nothing. So this is a way of turning automation in your favor. This is also a form of automation, right? Just automatically earning. No staking, no having to get into other complicated things or whatever, if you don't want to, So, like I said, I'll do a separate video on that. Just had to share the video of that guy saying that, hey, he want to hurt people and all that. But he's not the only guy that thinks like that. He's just one of the ones that stepped up and attached his face to it. And privately they'll praise him, but publicly they'll shame him. But they all think like that. It's your boy BSG. I'm going to holler at y'all in the next video.